Do you still want to say something?
Okay, yeah, good evening. I just want to give a brief summary of what I learned the last class.
Okay.
You can hear me, okay. So the last class, I was able to learn more about communication. So I gained a valuable knowledge and skills that goes beyond technical expertise. So I was able to learn that being productive in the workplace is all about how you present yourself, how you communicate, and how you stay organized, especially in professional environments. So I also learned some key takeaways such as the personal branding, that is how you when okay for instance, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
I said the
All right,
personal
well, we can
branding.
start.
Okay, Moyi, you can round up, please.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
Miracle.
okay.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you, everyone, once again for sharing. Like you've all said, it is very important to build our resilience. It is important that we build ourselves to be productive, okay? Even when we are taking rest, even when we are taking a short break from that very tedious work we've been doing, we should always find every aspect to learn to improve ourselves, right? Productivity. So in today's class, we're going to talk about hygiene, cleaning. That's a simple word. And I was asking earlier, think about what you do and what you like about what you do. Why are you there? What would you like to do better or differently? Like I asked earlier, from what we learned in the previous class, what did we learn? What do we want to do differently? What was our take home? Okay, so just think about your job. Think about what you like about your job. I mean, why am I still doing this job? It's stressful, but what do I like about it? What am I doing differently about this job? And what is holding you back from doing it differently? Maybe you want to make an impact, right? A very significant impact, but what is holding you back? Now, the purpose and objective of this training is getting it right first. What does it mean to get it right? How can we get things right first, right? Promote quality service delivery. As a facility manager, we render service outside. As an individual, you render service outside, right? Be it dispatch rider, be it whatever it is you do, you are rendering service to someone. And when you're doing it, you would not want your customers to feel bad, would you? You would want to please them. You would want to ensure that, I want this person to come in next time for business, right? You get it right. Promote quality service delivery and enhance efficient use of resources by doing it the right time, by doing it right the first time. Oh, as a facility manager or as a consultant or as an engineer, you've been asked to come check somewhere, to come do something. What do? When your clients are telling you, oh, so we need these measurements 2x2, 4x6, giving you details of what you need to do, you pay attention. Some of us, because of our 35 years experience, a lot of experience in something, when customer is talking, we say, okay, I know. No, we understand. And then you don't allow the customer to learn properly. What have you done? You've shot yourself in the foot, because by the time you're going to deliver the job, there's already a problem. Even when from you, there's no problem. So it is always important that we pay attention to details. We improve customer satisfaction. When you're doing this, you're not doing it for yourself. Or maybe you're even doing it for yourself so that your customer can refer you. If you do something well, your customer will refer you, isn't it? Yeah. They'll tell you, oh, I know one person that did this job and I think it's very good. You help them to save their money, save their time, and improve health and safety, okay? Now, it's just what I've explained. What does it mean to do it right? How can you do it right? Quality by standard. I know that I can get this ruler, for example, for 200 naira. And I know that I can also get it as well for 50 naira. What would you go for? What do you think your customers, your clients will be more satisfied with? They'll be satisfied with, even though they might complain a bit that I can get it for 50 naira, but I can bet you they also know the difference between what is 50 naira and what is 200 naira, isn't it? So your quality, render a quality service. Wherever you find yourself, whatever you find yourself doing, however, whenever, wherever, always ensure that you have a good and a standard best practice. That way, if anything goes wrong, you are not scared. Oh, Oga, don't worry. I can assure you that this thing I've done, I did it well. That is quality. Ensuring that what you are doing it with your whole heart. And everybody understand and enjoy and appreciate what you're doing. Okay? Now, what are the principles of getting it right? It starts with you, accountability. You as a boss, before you can teach someone to get something, to do it right, you have to be able to understand it. Self-evaluation, how am I improving? Reality checks, passionate desire to learn and improve. If you don't have a desire to learn and to improve yourself, you cannot grow, just like you learned in the productivity last class. Are we together? You can't grow. Now, how does it start with you when you are not evaluating yourself? Last year, I was able to achieve 5 certificates. This year, I aim to achieve 7 more. So far, I've achieved 2. What am I doing differently? Let's not forget that our customers are what? They are focused. You are improving, you are learning, you are doing everything you are doing to ensure that your customers are satisfied. Are we together? Improvement, it might take a lot of sacrifices. Not it might, it takes a lot of sacrifices. It takes a lot of time. It's just like a child who is learning to walk. Are we together? The first time the child will fall down and probably pick up itself again because it's willing to learn to walk. But if it's not, we'll just quietly go back to crawl. That is improvement. It takes consistency for us to move from what we used to be to what we want to be. Okay? Courage takes courage, persistence, and perseverance. All right? So standardizing tasks gives, yeah. So now, I like this quote: to improve the performance of any activity, increase the frequency of feedbacks, engage your clients, engage the people you render service with, engage the people you find yourself around, even in your home. All right? Among your families, among your friends, you can just ask them, oh, let's have a game. How do you think I'm doing? What do you think I should improve on? You know? Get feedbacks, better feedbacks from the people you have around you, from the people you render service to. Hear from them. What do they have to say? You'll see, if you don't get the feedback, you would not know that they have something to say. But when you get the feedback, they'll be like, oh, Mr. Friday, you are doing well, but there's a but. I'm always happy to hear the but. This is feedback. These are conversation, communications that helps you to improve, that helps you to know that, oh, I need to do from this to this. I mean, one of my facility, every week we always have 3 meetings, and every time we talk about this, we talk about that, everybody sees improvement, especially when it comes to clients giving us grade of how well we are doing. You know, I'm so happy. These are what help us to know that, oh, I think I'm progressing. I think I'm not progressing. I think I need to do something differently. All right. Thomas Monson said, and I read, when performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported, the rate of improvement accelerates. Okay, so performance is measured. How am I doing? It's recorded. Now, last week I was on 5%. This week, last week I was on 8%. This week again, I got another 8% for improvement. It's recording. How should I improve? What do I need to do differently to ensure that next week I get 10%? So improvement is like, it happens in an environment that promotes customer focus. When you put your customer, when you have your customer goals, okay, a clear goal of how you want to satisfy your customers, you write it down. You don't just have it, what's it called, running somewhere in your brain. You have it written down. Okay, for this customer A, I'm going to ensure A, B, C, customer B, C, D, E. And then gradually you come back to look at it. What have I done about this? Oh, yes, there's an improvement. You'll be happy with yourself, right? You would say that, oh, I have achieved. Now, someone always say the smallest pen, or maybe it's a general say, not someone, the smallest pen is bigger than the biggest brain. I don't know if I'm mentioning that correctly. Yes. Ensure to always do what? To always record, always write it down. Oh, don't worry, it's entering my brain. By the time you come 1, 2, 3, another other things to do, you forget about that thing. Okay, so it is always important for us to always do what? To record, to write down, all right? Yes, I've talked about our customer. Providing customer service is key to successful facility management. You know, you meet yourself in some places whereby they want to frustrate the whole system for you as a facility manager, as a facility management company, as this, as that. Wherever you're rendering your service, they would always say something, always have something not very good to say, okay? I'll tell you what, continue. Don't get tired, okay? Don't stop because of criticism. Should I say criticism? Or should I say bad feedback? Oh, you people are not trying. You people don't know how to manage this. You people don't do this. You people don't do that. Yes, it's part of your improvement. It's part of what would make you grow and become better. So whenever you have clients with such recommendations, such complaints, such anything to say, filling your feedback with such, it's okay. It's to put you on your toes for you to become better. And when you become better, tomorrow you and the clients can become friends and they'll be like, this company, they try, but let's not forget, it's not only one person that would have such feedback for us. So always have a proper understanding that your customers, you have to render them an excellent service to become successful in the industry, in the business, whatever you find ourselves, all right? Okay, yeah, so this also just runs the same thing as what I've. Oh, the fastest ink is better than the sharpest brain or best memory. All right, thank you very much, Esther, for putting this out. I would write it down so that I don't forget next time. All right, so we've understand our focus, our objectives as facility management. We understand the objectives for facility cleaning and hygiene. Even in services, this doesn't really have to do with only cleaning and hygiene, right? Customer improvement, customer satisfaction, our own improvement, self-improvement. I mean, it has a little in line with what productivity. Now you have to improve. Okay, so now, why do we need to train our minds and our hearts? Why did we register for this training? It's something we can just, look up to and just say, oh, I'm a facility manager. A lot of people just go to real estate, study real estate and this and that, and then they come back and say, oh, I'm a facility manager and this and that. But what are really those things we need to train on for us to be relevant? That's the word, yeah. For us to be relevant with ourselves. What are those things we need to know when we're talking about facility cleaning and hygiene in this topic now, yeah? Inconsistent and incorrect use of PPE, okay? So you see, we have some of our staffs, whenever they use PPE, someone that's supposed to wear an helmet front like this, then you decide to wear it to the back, or your coverall that you're supposed to wear fully, decide to wear it and tie it on your waist. Your safety boots, you leave it unlaced. These are things that they need to understand that this is wrong. Even you as an individual, you as a manager, or you work in the warehouse, you work in an industry or something. Sometimes we also do this. Okay, we also do this, but it is important that we learn how to use our PPEs, the right PPEs for the right job at the right time. You don't see someone wearing a sunglass or an helmet and then maybe not using it for something else. All right. Washing of our hands and use of chemicals. Okay. It's everything we do in cleaning is chemical. Everything you use is chemical, apart from the brush and the dustpan and probably napkins, which you also see you apply chemicals on to wipe surfaces. All right. Poor personal hygiene. How often do you, in general, not just bathing, in general, that means in our home, from bathing to washing of clothes to cleaning to our hair, our shoes, everything. Your workers being unable to understand what they need to do. Because if you don't train me, let me know that at 5:30, I need to go do ABC. I have the time to do this. I need to check my work. I need to do this. If you don't tell me that, if you don't train me, don't put me through how to use a sweeper, but I only know how to use a local broom to sweep in the bank, whose job is at risk, right? So improper cleaning techniques, leaving equipment dirty. You just see some, what can I use now? Our tools, proper storage of your tools. Whatever it is that you use in cleaning, you don't just leave it there. You ensure that it is properly cleaned and stored. Temperature not being adequately regulated, sweating, contamination, cross-contamination among workers from workplace, where they work, how they work, kind of work they do. Okay. So why should we train? This is it. In order to resolve issues. Just for us to know that everything we do, there are consequences. If you don't clean, if you don't sweep, if you don't dust, if you decide to just stay on your decks every day, not dusting, there are consequences. What's going to happen? You're going to have flu. Are we together? Training covers the why as well, in terms of when you ask your staff, oh, please go and do that thing. Why should I do it? Because it's important. Because it's something you already know, you've been taught how to do it. Okay, so without an awareness, I like this, without an awareness of consequences, worker may not be motivated to remedy problematic habits. What does that mean? If you don't tell me that this is what is going to happen, No, you don't even need to tell me. You can help me understand that when you clean or when you don't clean, you're going to lose your job. When you don't clean this, we're going to lose this. This is what we need to do, and this is why we need to do it. It helps the employee. It helps even you as a manager to understand that, oh, I have to do this. Okay. It's still all the same thing. What to train on, use of chemicals, personal hygiene, cleaning equipment, documentations, how to properly document things. Why do we need to teach our staff? Why do we even need to understand how to document things? Let's say, for example, this month, you bought 5 kegs of jig, detergent, liquid soap, and all that and all that. And before the end of the month, it's finished. What do you do? If you don't have a proper documentation of how was this bought, where and where was this used? So that is why it is even important that you have an inventory record. Maybe you are buying in large quantity or in small quantity. Inventory, because it would help you to know how much am I spending on. I mean, for mothers who are in the house, sometimes we have this book. You write how much you spend on meat, how much you spend on this, how much you spend on that. Just the same way. Inventory, how much am I spending on data? How much am I spending on cleaning, on PPE, on this, on that? You have it properly documented. Now you've bought hundreds of PPEs for your staff, and you're not even up to 100. And you're hearing, madam, I don't get shoe, or I don't get a coverall or something. You'll be wondering what is happening. So proper documentation is really, really important. Storage of, excuse me. Storage of tools, products, and equipment in clean rooms. Please excuse me. Okay. So now we've understand what we need to train on, and why it's important for us to train on all these aspects. So when we talk about risk management principle, target a number of small risk practices. What are those risks? What are those things that are risky in your job? What are those people you need to look out for whenever you're carrying your job, whenever you're carrying it out? The change behavioral motives among the people that you work with. How do you pass the hygiene messages? How do you communicate it among your staff, among yourselves, among your clients? Okay. How do you ensure that this hygiene is being promoted, is being planned carefully, is being executed? Okay. Now, cleaning. We've talked about plenty of things. We've not talked about cleaning. So what is cleaning? Removal of unwanted substance, ensuring that place is safe to use, ensuring that our environment is okay, safe from harms, germs, diseases, and all that and all that. It might be removal of food, solid waste, liquid waste, anything that just transform an unorganized place to a more organized place that is conducive for people. However, let's not forget that some people also like staying in the dirty area. But it is important that cleaning takes place. Even when you are bathing, when you are changing your clothes, it's cleaning, right? When you are doing your laundry, you're doing cleaning. But now we're talking about it in space, where we find ourselves, in our facility. There's this bottle, okay, for example, that is where it's not supposed to be. The moment you take it out from there to where it's supposed to be, what I've carried out, you've carried out cleaning, okay? So I know we all have very plenty definitions and this and definitions for cleaning, but I'm just as much as possible trying to use the simplest and the easy one so that we don't have too much thing to talk about there. All right, so I've talked about removal of bacteria, removal of germs from unwanted places. In the toilet, we clean our toilets every now and then because we don't want germs. Why do we clean our offices? Because we don't want germs. Why do we clean our steering car? Because we don't want germs. Why do we tidy up our cars? Because we don't want cockroaches. Why don't we eat in the car? Because we don't want cockroaches in the car, okay? Or leave leftover dustbin in the house. We don't want rodents inside the house, okay? So, cleaning work method statements. What are those things that we need to do when we are cleaning? How should we do this thing? What do we need to clean? You put me in a space, a very wide space, and you say, and I'm not seeing anything there, and you ask me to clean. How many hours am I supposed to use to ensure that this space is cleaned? Right? What are those equipments? Am I using a brush? Am I using a sweeper? Am I using a vacuum cleaner? Or what are those things? Excuse me. What are those things I need to use to ensure that this space you've put me should be clean? What's the method I'm cleaning? Am I wiping from down up, or I'm cleaning the floor first before dusting the cobwebs and everything? What is the quality outcome? What are your expectations when I finish cleaning? Okay, now this place has been cleaned. Who do you ensure? Who monitors the quality check? Who's in charge of quality check of what you've asked me to do or what I'm doing? Now, who ensures that the risk associated with the job I'm doing is being documented? The safety precautions, what safety do we need to adopt in carrying out our tasks? Okay, so these are the cleaning work method statements that we need to look at, we need to understand before engaging with ourselves. You know, I see some cleaning companies today, and then they said they do cleaning, and they will just be like, oh, okay, maybe after going around, checking the site and all that, because they want to win the job, they go ahead and quote, send their quotes, the client look at it, oh, okay, and then they approve it. And with or without, as they start the job, they start seeing that there are a lot of things involved. How do they go about that? Okay, so those are the things we're going to also learn from here. Okay, oh, I'm trying to change to the next slide. Oh boy. Sorry, I don't know why my mouse is. Okay, so now we have individual cleaning and we have zone cleaning. Individual cleaning involves a certain area to be performed by a certain employee. For example, Elizabeth, I'll use myself, you are responsible for doing all of these duties. Make sure that the dustbin is being removed and well lined back. The decks are properly cleaned. The computers are in good conditions. They are looking all bright and shiny. The chairs and the tables, everything. Okay. Meanwhile, zone cleaning is a big place, and then you group us. You are responsible for ABC. EFD, you are responsible for FGH. We are all ensuring to make sure that that particular space, like I mentioned earlier, a very big space, maybe a hall, for example, is being cleaned. Those that are going to be in charge of dusting and mopping, then dusting the cobwebs and this and that will do this and go back to go and wash the toilets. Those that are going to be in charge of mopping and sweeping will finish that and make, putting jobs in categories for people. Okay. Task or team cleaning. Cleaning tools are separated for each task. Yes, You don't use a, we all have different things we use for cleaning. We all have different tools to do different things. And everybody that you've assigned tasks to do, they all have their different tools. I don't have to wait and say, oh, I'm waiting for this person to finish so that I can go and do. Always ensure that your team members, they have enough equipment to use. Get them the right tools. Don't tell them to use sweeper to go and be dusting table. Are we together? Less confusion, more definition. Elizabeth, you are responsible for ensuring that everywhere is dusted well, everywhere is cleaned and this and that. I already understand what I'm doing. Okay, so, and I have the right tools, the right cleaning tools to carry out what I'm asked to do, okay? Now, what are the color coding in cleaning? What are the colors we have? We have different colors for different things. I remember when I took this class earlier, when we talked about mopping sticks. So what kind of mops do we see in the market? Some said green. No, some, yeah, it was just fun. We were just interacting, and someone said, oh, I've never seen a black mop before, or maybe a red mop. However, all these things exist. And what's today in this today world is very funny that we have white mop and we use that white mop everywhere. Come kitchen, come bathroom, come living room, common area, and all that. But when you go to the market, you see some white and blue, you see some white, you see some black and blue, you see some green, some red. They all have different places they work for. Same thing as napkins too. When we read up, we'll know where what is used to do, where it's used for, okay? I'm not going to explain it, but we're just going to look at it here on our slides that we have to know that red is for most infected area, yellow, and and all that. It's just right here on our slide. Okay. So how can we have a best practice, a safe best practice for cleaning in a space? Okay, always ensure that the products you are getting are less toxic. Okay, less toxic in the sense that you don't have a product that whenever you open it or whenever someone uses it, they almost want to choke to death. Are we together? Always ensure that the materials you are buying them correctly. Your staffs understand how to use them. You yourself, you understand how to use them. In a space where you have to use chemicals, ensure they are diluted correctly. Don't say, oh, I've been using it now. I know how it works. And then you overuse it. Always ensure to read the manufacturer's instruction. It's very important. No matter how long you've known this product. Something about me, if I'm taking any drink or any medicine or something, I would always see, let me look for the expiring date. Let me look for manufacturing date. Even though I see how it should be used. Or maybe the pharmacist or the doctor asked me, do you know how to use it? I said, no, I don't know how to use it. Even if I know how to use it. But I need to hear from you that this is how I should use it. These are very important instructions that we should listen to whenever we are acquiring stuffs, whenever we are acquiring materials, equipment. This thing I want to get, what is the use for it? Machines, today in the cleaning industry, we have scrubbing machine, we have brusher, we have washer, we have buffer, we have all types of equipment. When you are acquiring it, think about what are the safety measures and the risk. How is this going to save me from what should not happen? How is this going to help me to even get the money that I've spent in? Are we together? Okay. So whenever we're using chemicals in our cleaning, let us always ensure that we understand it. Required training are being spoken of. Okay. Where need to be disinfected. You don't have to spray just because you want to improve. You want to, what's that word now? Tell somebody that, oh, I'm doing my job or something. Okay. Always help your staffs, even if it's you, to understand that you don't have to fill the whole room with, what's this thing called? Air freshener, to show that you are working. If you are doing what you need to do, you are putting in a proper cleaning, you don't have to use an air freshener in your toilet, no matter the usage. But yes, fine, I know some of us like the whole place scented like orange and pineapple and stuff. Whenever we're getting all these things to make the whole place smell good, let us always consider the safety hazard associated to that, the risk associated to that. Okay. So these are still equipment that we use. What kind of clothes should we use to wipe our tables? What kind of napkin do I use? How do I help my staff to reach out to higher windows? Do I give them napkin and say, yeah, take, go and be jumping? Or do I give them that long stick to help them just swipe, swipe, swipe? You know that fiber stick that has a foam and a fiber foam and like a scraper or a dustpan, a rubber pan that I can just put water and just walk. Always ensure you provide them with easy equipment that will be easy to use. You don't have to strain. Okay. Yes, I've mentioned this also. Whenever we are getting our products, get simple products. Okay, not the one that you just open and even before you even use it. You see, some of us, we use some things in some offices, and then the client will tell you, please don't bring that thing back here. Has it happened to you before? Even you yourself, maybe not clients, maybe in your house, you buy something outside for the first time. You use it and you cannot even use it again because of how stuffy, how strong the smell is. Okay, so let us always ensure that we go for green products that are easy to use. Okay, plant cleaning schedule. What do we need to do? We've mentioned this already. The simplest way to get a place reliable clean, stick to a schedule. Make sure that, for example, I'll use a school environment, for example. By 6 o'clock in the morning, you know that it's assembly time. No, by 6 o'clock in the morning, you know you have to be in the school, right? Check the garden, check the toilets, check the store, check the classrooms. Even though you've done your work at closing hours, but the next morning you're just there to just check. By 9 o'clock, or before 9, 8 o'clock, depending on how busy the school is, you check your toilets, check for tissues, check for pad for the ladies, check for whatever it is you check for. There are no wee on the floor, the place is smelling good, the whole, what's it called, toilet is dry, no slippery floor. Whenever you're cleaning, you put out your caution signs. You go back again every 2 hours, every 1 hour, you go back again, you check it. In the bank, you see some ladies using sweeper during the day. In the hospital, these are scheduled activity that When you understand, you know what you should do, when you should do it, then the task becomes simple for you. Okay. So what are cleaning rules? Ensure that every moment counts. We've mentioned this before. Use the right equipment. Work from top to bottom. Top to bottom. From your roof, you dust down your windows, you dust down your light switches, everything you need to dust, you wipe it down, you wash, you rinse, you clean everything, and you take it out to the toilet. You take it out outside the door from your office. Okay, pay attention to details. I saw somebody sweeping, and you know, some of us, we just like to do the surface. Underneath the table, I'm tired. You know, these are little things that clients look and pick up. For example, this is my laptop table, right? Underneath my laptop table, there's a table where I can just keep my laptop, or maybe I can just put my car key or something. But you cleaned my table, but you did not clean under my laptop table. What have you done? It gave me an impression that every now and then I need to come to work with wipes or with napkins so that I can clean it up. If day 1, day 2, day 3, you did not clean it up, it's always important that we pay attention to details. Don't be squeezy, don't be tired, don't be sad whenever you're carrying out tasks. If there are one or more of you, so always work as a team is important. It's not because one finish work quick or something. When you see somebody else still working, you say, oh, you can help. You can help. Oh, okay, let's just do it together so that, you know, it would move out fast. We've talked about cleaning equipment and products. We have brushes, we have sweeper, we have broom, we have dustpans. They all have different functions. All these items we see in the market, mopping sticks, you know, a sweeping brush. Let me see if I have a picture here. Oh, these are cleaning equipment. I'm coming. I want to quickly see. Oh boy. So a sweeping brush, the normal sweeping brush that has a brush head, it does a different work from what a sweeper does. I hope we all understand. Yes, they both do sweeping, don't get me wrong. But how you would use a sweeper would be more effective than how you would use a broom or a brush. Even a broom, a local broom that you have to go bend down to use, would not be even as effective as what a sweeping brush would do, a sweeper would do. A sweeper is that close fiber brush. We'll get to see it somewhere here. Let me see. Okay, we'll get to see it when we get there anyway. So all of these equipments have different things that they do. Now, I mentioned equipment earlier. All this equipment that we have for cleaning, for sweeping, drying carpets, vacuum cleaning doors, this and that. Always consider the factors. Energy. If I'm using this thing to carry out this task, how much is the client paying me? How much am I getting to this one? How much am I getting this to get this done? Okay, always consider all of this. The water usage, the dosing of it, the noise and the ergonomy. If I'm using this thing, in a, let me say I'm using a which one makes sense? Not for this machine makes sense anyway. A mowing machine, for example, or a bush cutter during the day when people are working, and that's the only time I have to work. What do you think is going to happen to my clients? Okay, so these are factors that we always need to put into consideration whenever we are getting our tools. Chemical usage, I've talked about this. Always check for the safety data sheet. Check the label, check the expiring dates, check the manufacturing dates. Ensure that these things you are buying, they are safe to use. Ensure that you understand how it should be used. Ensure that you understand. You say, when someone says to be stored in a cool, dry place, when a manufacturer, not someone, when manufacturer says store in a cool, dry place, they did not mean that you should just store in a cool, dry place. Because they know that if you don't do that, something else can happen. It can expire on time. It can explode. It can lead to any unsafe acts. It can lead to any unsafe condition, I mean, if these things are not properly stored, how it should be stored. So that is why it is very important that when it comes to storage of chemicals, we understand manufacturers' instruction. We listen to it because they did not just buy it today. They did not just put that for fancy. It's just like medicine. When doctor said, use one in the morning, one in the night. Why? I just remember that I'm a very bad example for medicine. So let me not use medicine as an example. Let me go to the next one. So when we're talking about our cleaning, when we are lining our dustbins, how do we line our dustbins? Lining, removing of waste and putting another one, ensuring that the waste bin is clean. You don't just remove the dustbin and then you put another one. Always ensure that the container you're taking it out from is properly cleaned, okay? Yes. So these are the kind of mop we have: wet mop and dry mop. Now, can you see a red mop and a white mopping stick? Can you see that this down mop is looking different from the up one? Okay, so all these things are used differently to do different tasks, okay? It goes on and on: cleaning method, wiping, taking out trash, disinfecting surfaces. Where are those surfaces we need to disinfect? The elevator, for example, the toilet door handle, for example, the staircase rail handle, for example, and our cars, for example, our car handle, because we interact with people, we come back, we drive, we get home, we carry out different activities. So these are always important surfaces that we need to disinfect as often as possible. Now, this is a sweeper. Can you see my screen? Ah, am I muted?
Yes, we are almost on the screen.
I thought I'm muted for a second.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I thought I was muted. All right. So that is a sweeper, okay? So it helps us to make sure that wherever we are sweeping, it doesn't leave any dust. Because you are doing what? You are wiping it all out. But you see, by the time you decide to use a brush stick that is sweeping it, it's also sweeping it for you, right? But it's leaving some dust behind. And then later, 5 minutes later, you come back and check where you swept, you see that there's dirt on the floor. And you feel like, should I just swept this place just now? For effectiveness, always get a sweeping rag like this to ensure that your house are properly cleaned, okay? So, I mean, it also makes work easier for, and let me quickly correct this, thank you. We don't use this in environments outside, like your corridor, okay? These are most times used in maybe in the bank, in the home, in the hospitals, you know, where you want proper cleaning. I would not advise that because you are cleaning a facility and then you decide to use this kind of this thing to go and clean the car park. No, please don't get me wrong. Use your brush for your car park. Thank you. Okay, so you see there are different types. They have a small one, the big one, and the medium one. Okay, so they all do cleaning. Whenever you are dusting, what kind of equipment should you get? You see today, fancy things, all these feather things, you just do and then you come back again, you see some dust again still on the table. Always ensure that whenever you are dusting, you use the right napkin, okay, a fiber cloth to clean the surface and wipe it out. It doesn't leave any lint on the table. All those white things you see on the table when you finish cleaning, and you'll be like, what's going on? is from your napkin. When you use a microfiber cloth, you will not experience all those things, okay? Whenever we are using spray as well too, when we are cleaning, whenever you're using spray, ensure that it's not sprayed directly to the surface. You can put it on the napkin and just wipe your surface, okay? Yes, so we've talked about all these machines and what they do. These are just the machines we have, the machine for scrubbing, where they scrub, how it should be used, how it should be handled, the safety, okay, that you should think about. Someone handling machine and then he has what's it called? Earpiece, and he's wearing flip-flop and he's using this kind of scrubbing machine. What do you think is going to happen after a while? He's going to slip and fall. He could trip. If the machine is not properly held, the machine could also trip as well, because these are equipment that works with power. These are equipment that ensure whoever is handling it understands how to handle them, okay? So before we go into hygiene, we'll take a 5-minute break, if that's okay, and we can come back. Is that okay? Training manager? Can we take a 5-minute break and come back? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. So by 6:17, we'll come back. I think that's more than 5 minutes already, but by 6:17, we'll come back. All right, see you all soon.
Fine. All right. Thank you. It's fine.
All right. Thank you.
I can see, I know that's not all that for now. Are we back? We should be back by now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so hygiene. We've talked about hygiene. Hygiene should be practiced everywhere, in our bedrooms, in our kitchen, in our office, in our toilets. But let me quickly ask, let me just ask two persons, okay, two volunteers. Why do you think it's important for us to practice hygiene? Let me just ask, just two volunteers, just raise up your hand if you like to talk and unmute yourself and say something quickly. Why is it important for us to, why is hygiene important? Anybody? Okay, thank you, Philomena.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for
Good
the
evening.
class. I
Okay.
sincerely, in one word, I think hygiene is important for us to live healthy, to avoid varied infection.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Who else wants to say something about that? You can lower your hand now. Who else? Okay, all right, Esther. You can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Like they popularly say. Okay, okay. Is she still saying something? Okay, so hygiene is important for us to stay safe from harms, safe from illnesses, safe from germs, right? To avoid breakdown, like Oyeyemi just said, so that we don't get sick. Every now and then, you see, you go to the hospital and you are sick, they test you for malaria, they test you for inside the malaria, there's one bacteria, this and this. What do you think you need to pay attention to? Your hygiene. Not because of how stressed the work is, but because of the process of your work. How clean is where you are. These are very important, especially for those of us that are raising children in our homes. It is important that we always ensure that wherever, okay, our kitchen, our toilet, our common area, sitting room, you know, all these places are cleaned and are properly cleaned. Even outside in the facility where we work, ensure that the walkway area, the resting area where you rest and where people hang out, the elevator area, all these places are properly cleaned. Okay. Now, it does not only have to do with cleanliness. It also has to do with our clothes, the clothes we wear, the bed sheet, the towel. That towel you've been using, when last did you soak it to wash? Is it every week? Is it every month? Is it every 2 weeks? How often do you change your sheet? Okay, these are important things important details we need to look into. How often do you ensure that your toilet is being washed? Even if it's only you, oh, she been allowing me to leave now, no need to wash the toilet every day. No, my dear, you do need to. When you start having boil in your body, boil in your bum, in your thigh, you know, these are what happens. Are we together? For us to prevent injuries and illnesses. Okay? Yes, so that we don't get sick, we don't have contaminations. These are why we should always practice effective hygiene in our facility. Now, if you see something, you say something. What does that mean? You are not pleased with how, as a client now, if you are a client, you're not pleased with how these people are rendering their cleaning services, the kind of rag they use, even their appearance. Have you stayed in an elevator with someone that has a body odor and you're going to 12th floor? My dear, the Lord is your strength. Let us help our staffs to always have clean clothes, have deodorant. Are we together? Wash your clothes. Don't just put it inside water and bring it out. Wash it properly. Put it under proper sun to dry. Do you know if you don't put your clothes, for those of us that usually use a washing machine, rely on washing machine to dry our clothes, and we don't need to fold them, do you know over time they start smelling? Do you know the benefit of having sun to eat your clothes up? It kills germs. The sun is just not there to just cut you black, but it helps to kill the germs in our clothes. That is why it is very important. We don't just say, washing machine, the heat from the washing machine. You use 9 hours to use your machine because you want to use washing machine and dryer at the same time. When you have the sun that God has blessed us to it. Okay, so it's always important that we keep our clothes outside under the sun. What's it called too? Mopping sticks, our shoes, our duvets. We should always ensure that we wash them and wash them properly, okay? No, there's something I missed here. Okay, so hygiene promotion needs to be carefully planned, executed, monitored, and evaluated. I think I mentioned this earlier also too. This thing we want to do, how do we need to do it? Oh, I think this is repeating. How should we do it? How should we communicate this to our clients? When do they need to know that this is when they need to come in and when they do not need to come in? How do they need to understand that, oh, at this particular peak period, we're going to have a massive cleaning on ABC? Okay, these are things that helps us to also stay safe. Okay, we don't get sick. Because let me tell you how it works. If your work environment is not clean, and then you go home, and then when you are in your house, oh, daddy, welcome, mommy, welcome. And then the same hands, the same clothes, the same everything, you grab your child. Before you know it, the child gets sick. But your home is clean. What are you doing differently? And what's going on? You know, these are simple little things, simple little ways where these diseases are being transmitted. Lies on the body, when your body scratches you, when you don't bathe properly. You bathe with water, what happened to sponge and soap? There are some people that are allergic to sponge, understandable, but ensure that you bathe, you scrub your body with soap properly. Okay, these are important measures, important personal hygiene measures that we need to put in place. Before we eat, always wash your hands. When last did you wash your hands? When you go to the toilet, wash your hands. Because germs are everywhere. If you don't have where you can wash your hand, you can have hand sanitizer. I remember during COVID or maybe Ebola, that was 2014 or 2015. Every now and then, hand sanitizer was like everybody's hobby. Then after the Ebola thing went down, everybody went back to normal. Then came COVID. You can't even greet, you can't even touch, everybody's. But right now, what do? Germs no dey kill African man, right? It's important that we always wash our hands. When we wash our hands, yes, go and wash your hand. When we wash our hands, we feel safe. Okay? Because before you know it, you put your hand in your eye, you put your hand, you must have seen me probably have whined my eye, scratched my eye, cleaned my nose and all that. I know I'm safe because I washed my hand before coming to sit on the table, before coming to have this class. And after that, the only thing I probably touch is drink. Our combs, handkerchief, cups, utensils, everything we use. Always ensure that they are properly stored. Why should we wash our combs and our hair brushes? This is important, right? The comb you use for combing your hair and your hair brushes, it's important you wash them. You don't share some of all these things with others because you don't know my history. I came into your house as a friend, or into your facility, I just saw your brush. Guy, now let me just quickly, and maybe the other person have dandruff on his head. You don't share handkerchiefs. These are personal things that we need to always put into proper hygiene and consideration, okay? When you're sneezing, sneeze carefully into your elbow. Don't sneeze out, don't spread germs, like my doctor would say. All right, yes, we've talked about washing hands before eating. Effective hand washing requires thorough rubbing of the hands while using soap and sufficient water to rinse it. How many minutes should we wash our hands? Should the water run while washing? At least 3 to 4 minutes. Don't just open water, put soap, and then you've gone. No. Ensure your hands are properly washed, front, back, under your nails. For those of us that like keeping long nails, always ensure that you clean them, you trim them. Because it's still the same fingers we use for washing our body, cleaning our face, our sweaty face, scratching our body and this and all that. We use our hands for a lot of things. So as much as possible, keep it clean. All right? Yes, fingernails. These fingers, we use it in swallow. Some of us will say, okay, I use fork. I don't use my finger or this or that, whatever. Always ensure that your fingernails are well treated, are well trimmed, are looking neat. For those of us that like to fix faux nails, always ensure it's looking moderate. Among your staff, help them to know that, okay, if you want to, I'm not against anybody trying to fix nails or something, but ensure that you do this thing and you do them moderately. Okay. Of course, bathing. I can't. Emphasis cannot be made on how we should bathe, why we should bathe, and when we should bathe. Anytime we are bathing, always ensure that you're using clean water. Okay. But if in a area you find yourself, maybe the water is not so clean or this or that might be going wrong, always ensure you have antiseptic, Dettol, Savon, you know, all these things. We can have all these things even to wash our clothes. Okay, we can have all these things to ensure that, to disinfect the water so that we don't have skin reactions, fungi. All right, these are important things that we need to put into consideration. Whenever we are washing our face, ensure you don't what's it called, scratch the eye. Okay, you don't get infected from the eye. If you wash your hand, I mean, if your hand is safe, because I know that when my hand is safe, I can wipe my eye, scratch my eye, or my face. But always ensure to always wash your face with water. You feel sweaty in the eye, you feel, if you don't have a wet napkin, you can dab to tidy up the face, run it under the water. Removing discharge with your finger is not a good practice. Okay, these are ways we can have cross-contamination. You see, sometimes we just start saying our eyes are swollen, you sleep and wake up, oh, my eyes are swollen. Bed bug did not bite you. It's probably the wrong finger that you've put in the eye. So these are important things that we need to take note of. I've talked about washing our clothes and our beddings. This is really important. It's very important that we take out our beddings every week. Okay, our clothes too as well. Let us encourage our staff to always ensure that they wash their clothes, their uniforms. For those that have uniforms, give them more than one uniform. Give them more than one uniform. If you are still a small company that can't provide more than one, encourage them to always wash their uniform every day. This will save you and it would also save your clients and save them from being sick. Are we together? The towels they use in the house, the towels they use in the kitchen, towels they use in the restroom for cleaning. Always ensure that these things are changed and are changed at the accurate time. Okay? Ensure that you wear clean shoe, clean clothes, and clean hairnet. For those of us that work in the factory, you know, you can't carry your hair everywhere in the kitchen or in the factory where they do biscuits, bread, and all that. Always ensure that the hair is covered so that you don't get sued by unknown, maybe EFCC or all this, I say EFCC, what's it called, NAFDAC, food control and all that, okay? Ensure that your shoes, you give them the right shoe and they are always clean. I like clean shoes. Before you get to work, take a shower, wash off the dead bacteria skin, put on a clean cloth and the footwear. Your fingernails should always be clean, polished properly, okay? Yeah, so these are just storage of your food. Don't keep your food with chemicals. Don't keep your clothes with food. Always ensure you have separate lockers to do separate things. Okay, and after use of toilet, always wash your hand. When you touch skin, anytime, when should you wash your hand? These are when we as often as possible, wash your hand. Maybe when you shake somebody, you don't know, maybe the person you shook has coughed or has sneezed or something. So always wash your hands as often as possible. Now the question is, have you washed your hands? Please do that as soon as possible, okay? We've talked about keeping our hair. Make sure that whenever you are making your hair, your hair is properly made and you always have hair nets. Stock all your hair into it so that you don't have it flying around, okay? Housekeeping, yes. So we've talked about housekeeping as well too. What are the responsibilities of housekeeping? Ensuring that there are no slip, no trip hazard. Excuse me. Ensure that all electrical equipment are under control. You don't have anything stuck where it's not supposed to be. Or maybe you have a pile of stuck items. They are properly arranged. Arrangement is very important in our homes now, in our store, in the warehouse. Okay? And signages. If this is an electrical room, help me to understand that this is an electrical room, I should not go there. Do you understand? Okay. Employees' responsibilities. So these are what they need to know whenever they are doing their cleaning. Okay. We've talked about hygiene. Okay, so now how can we prevent pests in our facility, in our home, in our environment? How can we ensure that cockroaches, ants, rodents, bugs, and all that, they don't infest our premises? When you practice a good hygiene, you will not have issues with any of all these things. When you make sure that every day or every night the dustbin is being taken from the kitchen to maybe the general place where they are being kept, when you make sure that your dustbin are being evacuated at the right time, is it weekly? Is it twice a week? Is it monthly? You will not have issues with all these things. Okay, these are important things that we need to put into consideration for good hygiene. Now, what kind of waste do we have, and how are waste being managed? So we have the solid waste, we have the liquid waste, we have the asbestos, chemical, electrical, medical waste. If you notice, medical waste are disposed separately. I'm not sure there's been any situation where you see an hospital come to pour their waste somewhere in, what's it called? Where Loma pour their things. No. Why? Because there are reasons to pour these things. Fluorescent, batteries, any explosive thing, tire. But because we live in a society where ignorance is so normal, that's when you see some people burning tire in the middle of the road, which is not safe, which is not good. Glass, paper, cans, bottles, and thank God today for recycling, sustainability. Recycling, you see some guys on the road every now and then, they carry a big bag, picking plastics, even though for them, they are hustling. But in the sustainability world, they are recycling and helping us to keep safe. So whenever we are disposing our waste, let us always remember to dispose correctly. You will see some chemicals, they'll tell you danger, fish, you know, all those kind of things. They'll put some signage on it. It means you can't pour this into the ocean. You can't use this where there's fire. You can't, you just read them. Whenever we are disposing our waste, let us always understand that how should this be disposed. But again, it's only in Nigeria where you segregate waste and Loma will come and pour everything together, because sometimes, I think sometimes they filter the plastics and the cartons out as well too, and then leave the other trash together. But always remember that, excuse me, waste management is important. We should not add a chemical waste. We should not have our hazard waste and medical waste. We should always separate them for separate reasons, okay? Yes, treating hazardous waste separately, this is just all that has been mentioned. So chemical and dust hazard, what are the hazard? Biological hazard, safety hazard, physical hazard, and ergonomic hazard. All these are what could hinder us from being safe. What are examples of chemical, dust, and hazard? Cleaning products. Okay, ergonomic, repetition of lifting upward position. When you are carrying, you are bending down, you are doing things manually. Biological hazard, mold, communicable diseases, and pests. Safety, slip, trip, and fall. Unsafe condition, unsafe acts. Oh, don't worry, I can do it, I can do it. You know you're supposed to wear a safety boot, but you decide to wear a slippers. Okay, physical hazard, noise from vibrations. Excuse me. Excuse me. From machines, from equipment that we use, all right? So after doing all this, what's our last sort? PPE, hierarchy of control. How do we eliminate this? How do we ensure that, this engineering control that place, ensure you get a proper chair. You don't have to sit on the chair on a table that you have to be bending to type. What happens after a long while? You start feeling pain on your neck, start feeling pain on your back, because you did not get a proper chair that will help you to work effectively. All right, so this is very important. Aim at reducing employees' exposure to hazards by removing them. This is what you know that would expose this person to this. Take it away. Change work procedure, written policies, everybody from now on, policies would help people to sit upright and understand that, this is business. If you don't do this, you're going to lose your job, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that, okay? So always make sure that policies are put in place to help the employees come serious. Last resort, PPE, special clothing, eye protection, hearing protection, and respiratory protection. So they all come last. All these are control measures to help us to stay safe from hazard, safe from illnesses, safe from unsafe conditions and unsafe parts, okay? And what do we have next? We have our assessment for the class, okay? So I'm going to use you, how many minutes? 15 or other minutes to take questions, if there are questions, and so we can call it a day. Do we have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, okay. Mr. Kayode, you first.
Okay, thank you very much. My first question for people that are into the business presently.
Into which of the business?
Requirements are needed for you. What are the requirements? Are you getting me?
Into which of the business?
Like into facility management, into both post-construction, cleaning, facility management totally as a whole.
Okay.
I'm just asking this question now. What are the requirements for you to quote right? Let me give you an instance. Like you have been given a job regarding roofing now. You will know that you will go and get the sheets, everything, know your workmanship, you get the job done. But in a situation where bank, you want to win a contract for a bank, let me say Access Bank, and they want to give you the cleaning of Access Bank, let me say the total of Lagos State. So how will you be able to quote correctly, not for you to make mistake? What are the requirements? What are those things that we need to look into?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kayode. Before I answer, does anyone want to try? Does anyone want to answer his question before I answer? Anybody at all? Did we get his question?
Please let him repeat the question.
Okay, so let me quickly brief. He said, if you want to send a quote, for example, you're into construction and you want to do a roofing work, for example, for a bank, and you want to get this job, what are those things you need to put into consideration, right? For you to be able to get this job and quote it correctly so that you don't undershoot yourself and overshoot yourself. Am I correct, Mr. Kayode?
Oh, I'm making a reference to cleaning. I have been doing the business, but I'm not into the cleaning aspects. Are you getting it? So for example, if Access Bank call you, let me say you went to their head office, you submit a proposal, and now for you now to quote, they have like, let me say they have like 20 or 40 branches, and you want to maintain their cleaning. So what are those requirements for you that you need to do before you can quote right? I don't want to underquote and overquote. So that's what I'm saying. What are those things that, as a cleaning agency, what are those things that is needed for you to quote appropriately?
Okay, so did you get his question now, Ms. Esther?
Yes, well, in a little way, let me just contribute. I think number one, you need to do a feasibility study and talk to those people already in the business, because you need to have an idea in order for you not to overquote or underquote. So you can talk to maybe 2 or 3 already existing cleaning companies, and from there you'll be able to gather, what you need to put in your budget or in your proposal to that company. But you need to have information. Thank you.
Fantastic. Who else wants to say something? Any person? Okay, so to add to what Mrs. Staff said, there's also what they call the square meter. You check, I know we mentioned this and it's also in one of the slides, okay? You can go back to check it. What are the expectations? I can invite you in that, clean this place, make sure it's clean and all that. Ask for expectations, ask for duration. Ask for outcome. Are we together? At the end of this job, what do you want us to get? Someone can just say, just clean, you know, make the place just do okay. Because I can tell you that you can decide to charge by your equipment, it's kind of equipment you're going to use to tidy that place. Let's say, for example, it's a big space that you will be using your machine, scrubbing machine and all. How much per hour, how much light, how much fuel, how much this are you going to use? You put all those into consideration first. How much equipment are you going to use? Are you going to need? How many man labor are you going to have to use to get this job done? You put all that into consideration. If you want to go by square meter, if you want to go by number of persons, it's now all depend on you. Always ask for expectation. Does that answer your question, please?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. You said something. Always ask for expectation. Like I said, the reason why I joined this particular training is basically for me to know some other things. Like I said, I've been into procurement. I do procurement. I do some things. But one thing I don't want you say expectation. Madam Esther said that I should learn from others. In a situation whereby I don't know any other person. Are you getting me? I'm entering this field because I know I want to network. Because I'm here to network to meet other people who are into this business. So your expectation now means their own expectation. So how will I be able to measure that expectation in figure?
Oh, it's simple. I'm your client, okay? Or you are my client. I'm calling you to render a service for me. Oh, Mr. Kayode, by the end of this, we would want this place to be transformed. You now, for example, you gave me an example of where you've admired, let me say Providence Bank, the one at GRA or the one somewhere. I want this facility to be as clean as that. I want you to ensure that every details are picked. There are no dirt, the louvers are well cleaned, especially a client will give you details of what he or she wants. Now, let's not forget, I want the floor scrubbed properly and shiny. That means you have to polish the tiles, especially if it's a very dirty tiles. What is it going to cost you to ensure that, let me say, half plot space, a room as big as an half plot, is properly shined, polished, from the rooftop, cobwebs, properly cleaned. You pick out every single thing that you want to do. When you've picked out everything you want to do, you picked out everything you need to do, everything you are going to use to do it. You check your market price. You check what is going to cost you. You check how much it's going to cost you to employ one person to do a particular square meter. You multiply it by the number of the space, and you give your presentation. Now, being fair, in all fairness, you can boldly meet them and say, this is this. And they ask you, why is your price expensive? You defend it. In all fairness, we are going to be using a scrubbing machine, a this, a that, which is going to cost us this, that, that. You add it into your charges. When they look at it, they're reasonable with it. They say, okay, in all fairness, they'll give it a try, right? Because you are so confident in what you want to do, because you so know how you want to carry out your job, you can say, okay, and then they give you a go ahead to try. Let's not forget, improvement, first time meeting a first time customer, you want to put in all your best. You want to ensure that you give them a proper satisfaction. So consideration of equipment that you need to use, consideration of client expectation. They expect me to clean this place to be as clean as maybe the president's house or something. What is it going to cost me to ensure that this thing gets to this level? How do I ensure that my customer next time calls me for a good job?
Very much. But in addition, I just want to, I'm getting you now, and I'm getting you correctly. But in a situation whereby, you know, when you go to some banks, when you see people entering to the bank, in the next, let me say 10 minutes, you see the cleaner cleaning it again, going back, another customer comes in again, in the next 20 minutes, they go back, they clean. So those are expectations you need to factor into what you are saying.
Yes. So now what your custodians are doing is a scheduled activity that you've planned based on your client's expectation. Are we together? All right. Any other question? Any other person with questions? Is there any hands up in the chat? Is there any chat for us there? Is there any question on the chat? Let's see. No question from the chat. Okay. Are we still in the class or everybody have left?
We are with you.
We are
We are
here.
here. We are here.
Okay,
We are
okay.
following.
Thank you.
We are
It's so
here. We are here.
quiet.
Thank you for the class. It's so interesting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So in the absence of no question, let us always remember that we need to always wash our hands. We need to always pay attention to our customers. We need to always train our staffs, even in our home and outside wherever we find ourselves, even ourselves, we should make improvements, okay? Improvement in terms of learning, improvement in terms of knowing more, improvement in terms of acquiring. This is how we've been doing it. Doesn't mean that that is how it should be done. There are room for improvement in everything we do. And you know, when you put all this into consideration, you see that your clients will be happy. They'll be like, oh, I like the way these people work, okay? And they would always want to refer you. They would always want to engage you. Do not forget, customer feedback is important. Do not be afraid of the wicked, unfair, what's it called, feedback they will give you. These are things that build us to help us become a better facility manager. If they don't criticize us, if they don't give us those bad comments, we would not improve. Oh, you guys are doing well, you're doing well. If you keep hearing you're doing well, you're doing well every time, and then you think you are doing well, my dear, it's a lie. All right. Always go out for, always embrace those you guys are not trying those hard words. I think one of the things my boss have used to build me, and I'm still building, is those hard words. If I don't get those hard words, if I don't get that query or that letter or that strong thing, I'll be like, is my boss angry with me? In a week or in a month or two, if I don't have that back-to-back hotness with my boss, I'm like, what's going on? This man is quiet. What has happened? You know, these are important things that we always need to help us to become better persons. All right. So always wash your hands. Keep yourself safe from germs so that you don't fall sick. Okay. And let's not forget, the fastest ink is better than the sharpest brain or best memory, which means always ensure to write down and pay attention. Okay. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
Class.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.